Struggling with the lead uppercut is normal as it's the hardest punch to throw. But through this simple 3-step process, you will learn exactly how to throw the lead uppercut with power at any range and without telegraphing it. I'm also going to cover when to use it and how to set it up, so hang around for that. If we want to land the lead uppercut with power and without telegraphing it, then it needs to move fast. And how do you make the lead uppercut move fast? We need to relax our arm. So step number 1 is getting in your stance and just letting your arm drop down by your side like this. To really make sure there's no tension in it, just jump up and down, shake it off like this. Shake off your arm so there's no tension in any of the muscles. Next, what we need to do is rotate slightly and then swing your arm up. Make sure when you're rotating to here that you're not leaning like this. We're not trying to lean to throw the uppercut. We're just rotating our hips from this position here to this position here with our arm down by our side like this with no tension in. And then we're going to rotate our hips back this position and we're going to fling our arm up nice and fast. Again, making sure there's no tension in it. So we're here and we go there like that. It's going to look stupid at first, but there's a method to the madness. So rotate slightly, let that arm nice and loose, and then just whip it up there like that. The force is generated from the hip, so make sure that's the focus point when you're throwing this punch. The hip goes first, and the arm just moves as a product of that. So the hip generates the power, rotating back this way, and then the arm just whips up. So make sure that your arm isn't tensing up. If your arm tenses up as you throw it, that means you're throwing an arm punch. Try not to do this. Instead, initiate with the hip and the arm will stay relaxed and it will just come up as a result. Remember, your knuckles need to be moving as fast as possible to generate that power. So when you swing your hand up, swing it up as fast as you can and try and swing it up in a vertical direction. Step number 2 is knowing which position or how to drop your hand into the correct position to throw your punch. This varies depending on the range at which you're throwing it and the angle at which you're throwing it. When you drop your arm into any position other than loose down by your side, there's going to be a split second where you're going to need tension in your shoulder to support the weight of your arm. You want to minimize this time as much as possible. Position your arm and start that hip rotation simultaneously as if you're bouncing your arm off the air. As soon as you've bounced it, theoretically bounced it off the air, you want your arm to go straight back to that relaxed position so it carries that same speed as it continues its path. So it's this motion. You want to drop your arm, rotate, and that's the tension. That's the moment where your arm tenses up for a split second to bounce your arm off the air before you bring it back up. You want to try and picture your arm bouncing like this. And then you bring it up. Go straight back to that relaxed state. Remember, after it bounces, we're rotating our hips back this way. We're initiating the movement for it to move back up vertically. So think about that pop of your hips. It bounces at the same time like this. You drop it and bring it up. The range at which you throw the punch, it determines how far away you position your arm from your face. For example, at close range, you barely want to move your arm at all. And you basically want to use the motion of your body to bring it up like this. I'm not trying to move it away from my face. The more time my hand is spent away from my face, the more time I'm left open. So especially at close ranges, we're just going to use the motion of our hips and our body to throw that punch. Obviously, we still want to keep our arm relaxed for that split second after it's bounced off the air. If you're throwing the punch mid-range, then you want to drop it to about here and bring it up. So from here, drop it, bring it up there. And if you're throwing it long range, you want to drop it to about here and bring your arm up straighter as you rotate your hips back to this neutral position. So short range is there, mid-range is there, and then long range is there. We can bring it longer. Step 3 is the end result. Remember when I said about bringing it up vertically? Do it. You want to imagine that you're throwing a tennis ball vertically in the air. That's how you want to bring it up vertically. You want to kink your wrist like this so that when you do bring it up vertically, you're landing on the knuckles. That's the bit that matters. That's the bit that hurts. And it hurts even more if you're bringing that arm up super fast, all that speed and power is going to be concentrated into your knuckles, and that's where you can do a lot more damage. One of the main issues when throwing the lead uppercut, especially at longer ranges, is that it leaves us quite open for a counter, especially a right hand over the top here. So now I'm going to teach you how to set it up so you can actually land it without being whacked yourself. But before I do that, join the free school. If you like how I teach, then there's me and 4,000 other people learning boxing in my free school community. It's linked in the description, so go join. I'll see you in there. To avoid getting countered when you throw that lead uppercut, you can throw a right hand yourself to set it up. As you do this, you want to be dropping your hand into the position, ready to throw it. So as you throw it, you drop your hand. Remember, there's that impulse of tension in your shoulder, ready to swing that hand up as it comes. So as you throw the right hand, drop it here, and then bring it up. And you can do it at different ranges. You can also slip outside of your opponent's right hand, or a jab if they're southpaw. So I could slip here, then I could bring it up. That gets me outside of their punch. Or I could even step to the side, shift a little bit, and then bring it up like this. Remember the technique that we've been explaining throughout the 3 steps as you're doing these though. So slip, drop it, and then just swing it up there with no tension. Or step, and then bring it up. Okay, now you know how to throw the lead uppercut. Also, shout out to Power Fitness for the t-shirt, promo code in the description as well, but mainly don't worry about that, just join the free school.